My name is David Mitchum. We're on Johnstown Road in Knox County at my daughter's farm. We farm corn, soybeans, and a few show pigs.
I'm John Barker. I'm an extension educator from Knox County. Been in Mount Vernon here at the extension office for about 34 years. We're doing a lot of fungicide work this year out here with Mitchum's. The trials we're doing today, the field across the road, we sprayed Veltima on it. It's about between BT and R1, and we striped that field. We put 4 different checks in that field so we'll be able to have some checks in there to compare the yields.
We farm the field north and south, and we're spraying it east and west, and we're leaving strips all across it. So when the combine enters and exits those strips, we should see either an increase in yield or a decrease in yield based on the fungicide application.
The field straight behind us, going to be a little bit different. We're spraying that entire field today.
We're going to come back in 3 weeks, and then we're going to stripe it to see if a second pass helps us combat tar spot a little better.
We're working with Scott Ruck. He has a drone, and he's come out and he's making these drone applications for us.
My name is Scott Ruck. I'm an owner-operator of Ruck Ag Service and Harvest Tactics. And I specialize in drone service and agronomy work. I also farm on the side with my dad up in Ashtabula County. So the technology we're using, and specifically today, is I'm running a DJI drone, a T30 is the model. It's actually a 2022. Once I get to the farm, I set my route spacing. I'm flying at 28 feet. To get that 28 foot of coverage, I'm 14 foot off of the crop.
We put some water sensitive paper out right about ear leaf, because we're also wanting to look at the coverage and see how that works. And we're getting fantastic coverage at that level wherever this drone's flying.
Veltima, the BASF folks, they'll tell you that they're seeing plant health benefits from just that fungicide application alone. And I agree. I think you see it. I don't know if it always correlates to yield response, to be 100% honest. And this year's been a stressful year, right? So I definitely think we'll see some plant health benefits from it. Does, at the end of the day, at the current price of corn, roughly, let's call it $350, $375, is this pass gonna make economic sense? And I think that's the real question where we're gonna be at.
Our goal here, and you heard Dave say earlier that everything comes down to dollars and cents. So we hear a lot of guys talk about they put on fungicides, fungicide makes some money every year. This year we're not seeing a lot of disease pressure in our corn. So we're putting these fungicide applications on different times, different products to see which ones, if any, are going to have an effect this year. But the bottom line is we're going to check yield. Does it improve our yield? But more importantly, does it make money for the farmer? If we look at the yield results, we see the average for the fungicide treatment was 255.42 bushels per acre. The average for the control of the no treatment area was 258 bushels per acre. These yield differences were not statistically significant. If you look at the economics, the drone application fee for the fungicide was $12 per acre. The fungicide cost was $22.40 per acre, giving us a total expense of $34.40 per acre. The income was calculated using the cash price at the local elevator on the day of harvest, and that was $4.21 per bushel. Based on these economic numbers, this study resulted in a loss of $45.26 per acre. I also replicated this study in another field that produced similar results. Our third trial consisted of 2 fungicide applications, one at tasseling, or R1, and a second application at R3. Utilizing the same economic data, this trial resulted in a loss of $59.93 per acre. I think any farmer that you talk to is going to want to see on-farm research because it's more realistic to what happens on their farm.
You do this on farm, all the variables that happen to a real world situation are in play here. I mean, wind, temperature, humidity, all these things come into play, which you can control a lot of those things in a research situation.
I want to be able to advise the growers the best I can. And so the more data that I get, the better quality product I can provide.
What works here on Dave's farm may not work for somebody else in the county or somebody else in a different part of the state. The important thing is what works on their farm and how that can improve their operation. And by doing on-farm research, they're going to know what works best under their set of circumstances.